Is violence a fundamental part of human nature? This question has been a hotly debated topic, stirring the minds of scholars and laymen alike for centuries. In the face of a world where conflict often takes precedence over peace, it's a query that remains ever pertinent. Is our propensity towards violence a product of our environment, or is it coded into our DNA? Are we as a species predisposed to aggression? These are questions that deserve exploration, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Stick around as we delve into this provocative question. Let's dive right into the first perspective. Imagine, if you will, the seething cauldron of early human communities. Picture the primal dance of survival, where the strong thrived and the weak perished. In these harsh landscapes, violence was a tool, a means to an end, a necessary evil. Warfare, aggression, these were not anomalies but rather a part of everyday life, but it doesn't end there. Fast forward through the ages, and we still see the echoes of our violent past. The annals of history are littered with tales of conflict and conquest, of empires built and destroyed, of lives taken and territories claimed. It's undeniable that violence has been a recurring theme throughout human history. Now, you might argue that these are just isolated incidents, the result of societal structures, of power dynamics. But if we take a step back and look at the broader picture, a different story begins to emerge. Violence, it seems, permeates across cultures, across communities. It's not confined to any one group or society. From the tribal skirmishes of remote African tribes to the gang wars in urban landscapes, violence is a universal language that humans speak all too fluently. But it's not just about aggression. Violence comes in different flavors, if you will. There's proactive violence, where individuals or groups initiate conflict to achieve a certain goal. Then there's reactive violence, a response to perceived threats or aggression. Both forms are prevalent, both forms are a part of the human experience. Yet it's important to remember that this is just one side of the story. Yes, violence has been a part of our past. And yes, it continues to exist in our present. But does that mean we are inherently violent as a species? But is this the whole story? Let's explore the other side of the coin. It's not all doom and gloom. As we delve deeper into the topic, it becomes clear that painting humans with the broad brush of inherent violence may be a bit hasty. Let's consider societal influences on violence. It's no secret that the society we grow up in has a significant impact on our behavior. Some societies, due to their structure and norms, may endorse violence, while others might discourage it. For instance, societies with strong rule of law and justice systems tend to have lower rates of violence. It's not so much about our inherent nature, but the environment we are nurtured in. Speaking of environment, let's talk about upbringing. It plays a crucial role in shaping our behavior. A child raised in a violent environment may grow up to exhibit violent behavior, not because violence is in their nature, but because it's what they've been taught. On the flip side, a child raised in a peaceful environment, taught the values of empathy and respect for others, is likely to grow up non-violent. This brings us to our capacity for empathy and cooperation. Humans, as social animals, are hardwired for cooperation. Empathy, the ability to understand and share others' feelings, is a trait unique to us. It helps us form social bonds and work together as a community. Cases of violence are often seen as deviations from this cooperative norm rather than the rule. But what about the violence we see in the world today? Well, research suggests that violence rates have actually decreased over time. Steven Pinker, a renowned psychologist, argued in his book, The Better Angels of Our Nature, that we are living in the most peaceful era in our species' history. This suggests that violence is not an unchangeable part of human nature, but a behavior that can and has been reduced. So we see that the question isn't as black and white as it seems. Are humans inherently violent? It's not a simple yes or no. It's a complex interplay of nature and nurture, of societal structures and individual upbringing, and of our capacity for empathy and cooperation. The truth as always lies somewhere in the middle. So here we are, standing in the vast gray area of human nature and violence. This isn't a simple black and white issue. It's a kaleidoscope of factors, a blend of nature and nurture that likely play significant roles in human violence. Think about it. On one hand, we have the primal instincts that have been etched into our DNA over millions of years. Our ancestors were not always the top of the food chain. They had to fight, sometimes violently, to survive. This need to protect, to defend, and even to conquer might still resonate within us, like echoes from our ancestral past. And on the other hand, we have the societal structures we've built, the cultures we've nurtured. These too can influence our propensity for violence. Poverty, inequality, lack of education, these societal stressors can push individuals towards violence. But it's important to remember that we're not just passive products of our genes or our environments. We're complex beings with the ability to reason, to empathize, to choose. Yes, we might have violent tendencies, but we also have the capacity for compassion, for understanding, for peace. Understanding this complexity is key. It's not about labeling humans as inherently violent or inherently peaceful. It's about recognizing the factors that can lead to violence and then working to mitigate those factors. Perhaps it's about creating more equitable societies or promoting education and empathy or addressing the psychological effects of our violent past. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here. But by acknowledging and understanding this complexity, we can start to pave the way towards a less violent future. With this understanding, we can hope for a less violent future. The debate rages on. Throughout the course of our discussion, we've explored the complexities of human violence, plumbing the depths of both its presence and absence in our history. We've addressed the inherent and circumstantial factors that might provoke violent behavior. We've also considered the societal structures that might influence its prevalence. Yet with all this information, a definitive answer still eludes us. This question, are humans inherently violent, is a topic that remains under rigorous study. So we come back to our initial question, is violence a fundamental part of human nature? We leave you with this thought. We've come to the end of our discussion. The question of whether humans are inherently violent is one that stirs up a lot of debate and, we're sure, a lot of thoughts. We'd love to hear your perspectives on this in the comments section. And if you found this video thought-provoking, do remember to hit that subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up and share it far and wide. Let's keep this conversation going and continue to challenge our understanding. Thank you for joining us in this exploration. Stay curious and keep questioning.